Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something called illusory correlation. Ever get that feeling that two totally unrelated things just must be linked somehow? That's kind of the area we're exploring. We want to look at why our brains do this and, well, how it can actually shape how we see things and the choices we make.
Yeah, it's really about efficiency, I think. Our brains are always trying to find patterns, right, to make sense of, well, everything. These shortcuts, these heuristics, they're usually super helpful. But sometimes they kind of misfire. They create links where there really isn't anything there. Think about seeing faces in clouds. Your brain's just wired to look for that structure.
Okay, so it's like our pattern finders working overtime, maybe.
Yeah.
How does that affect how we see people? Because I can easily see this leading to some quick judgments.
Oh, absolutely. Stereotypes are a big one. If you have a pre-existing idea about a group and then, a couple things seem to confirm it, that connection can feel way stronger than the evidence actually supports. We tend to give more weight to those confirming bits and sort of ignore the times it doesn't fit. It's like selective memory.
Right, yeah, like you expect something and then you really notice the few times it happens, but you forget all the times it didn't. Wasn't there a famous study on this where people saw connections in just random data because they sort of expected to?
Exactly. Chapman and Chapman's work. Classic. They showed people these pairings, drawings and statements, completely random pairings. But people reported seeing the correlations they expected to see based on, common beliefs. Their own ideas literally changed how they saw the data.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty mind-bending. So if our brains can just invent links like that in a study, how does it actually mess with our choices day to day?
Well, it can lead to some decisions that don't really make sense. Like maybe someone avoids a particular coffee shop after just one bad latte. They might link that single vivid experience to the shop's overall quality, even if, I don't know, most online reviews are great. That one bad experience creates a strong but maybe totally false connection.
And then, once we've made that connection in our head, we're probably more likely to notice other things that seem to back it up. Like we're kind of looking for proof for our initial, possibly wrong idea.
Precisely. That's confirmation bias kicking in. It just reinforces the illusory correlation. It turns into a kind of feedback loop. We believe X and Y are linked, so we notice them together more, dismiss the times they aren't, and the false belief just gets stronger.
I can also imagine how, say, the news media might unintentionally play into this. If certain groups get mentioned alongside certain types of events again and again, even if there's no real link,
Yeah.
our brains might start building one.
That's a really important point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way information gets presented, which stories get highlighted, that repetition, that co-occurrence in reporting can lead the public to form these false associations. It's not necessarily about a real cause and effect relationship out there in the world.
And that makes me think about really critical decisions, like in courtrooms or in medicine.
Yeah.
Imagine a juror or maybe a doctor making a call based on some perceived pattern that just isn't statistically real.
Yeah, it really highlights the potential danger, doesn't it? In those high-stakes situations, relying on gut feelings or these perceived patterns instead of, hard data, that can have really serious consequences. It just shows how vital evidence-based decisions are in those fields.
Is it fair to say some people might be more prone to this than others?
Well, some research does suggest that. Maybe people who feel a stronger need for quick answers, for certainty, they might be a bit more susceptible. If you prefer jumping to a conclusion over digging into the details, maybe you're more likely to make these associative leaps. But honestly, it's a spectrum. We're probably all vulnerable to it to some extent.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up, illusory correlations are these phantom links our brains create, almost like ghosts in the data. They happen because we're trying to be efficient, but they can fuel stereotypes, mess with our decisions, and they get stronger because of confirmation bias and even how information is presented to us.
Exactly. It's a good reminder to maybe question those connections we automatically see.
Yeah. So for you listening, maybe the thought to leave you with is this. When you notice a strong connection between two things, maybe just pause for a second. Ask yourself, is the evidence really there? Or could it just be, my brain doing its pattern finding thing where there's nothing actually to find? It's just about developing a little bit of that healthy skepticism, even about our own first impressions.